Good evening. Welcome to yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. So we have been breaking down or better understanding the 5 root causes of suffering as explained by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras. Today we explore the second klesha or root cause. In the Yoga Sutras, it describes the second klesha, which is asmita in Sanskrit, as the identification of the power of the seer with that of the instrument of seeing. Egoism, in short. In Sage House, I found an article that elaborates. We often view ourselves and the world through the lens of labeling our labels that our minds tag onto people, occupations, gender, clothing, events, actions, behaviors, comparative labels, like how you compare your labels with those of others. And as we recognize the space that such labeling holds in our minds, we can practice dropping the habits that take up so much of our mental and emotional energy. We often mistake the labels that we give ourselves for who we really are. Labels are only fragments of who we truly are. Asmita, or egoism, invites us to step out of the small, limited picture that we often get stuck in. Yoga Journal elaborates. The challenge and where the lesson of this sutra lies is that while it's great to appreciate and value all of these aspects of yourself, if you identify too closely with the changeable aspects of yourself, Patanjali says that you set yourself up for disappointment and suffering. Enjoying the transitory aspects of our bodies is part of the beauty and richness of being alive. These aspects of yourself are an important part of who you are. They're just not all that you are. If you can recognize that there is something deeper within you that is unchanging, your true, authentic self, and if you can connect and identify with that part of yourself, which is so much more than your appearance and achievements in the world, says Patanjali, you are likely to be less bothered by physical changes or any other changes for that matter that are beyond your control. And the last, I'd like to quote Mind Body Green. By recognizing the divine within us as the doer of all actions, we can offer all results to the same, thereby relinquishing the quest for personal validation. This practice puts the ego into its rightful, subservient place to the soul. As a result, we benefit from feeling far less fear and far more joy in both our practice and in our lives. Such an interesting thing to work with and observe our ego minds. I understand that it's often there to protect us. Sometimes that labeling is functional, but when is it not functional? When might it cause us to feel fear, anger, separation from other beings? And can we be observant of that? So as we start the physical practice of asanas, I invite you to dedicate this hour of that self-observation as we continue to be more aware of the thoughts goes on in the mind, what the thoughts may want to compare us to or identify us with, and constantly reminding ourselves that we are the witness, the seer, and not the instrument of seeing. We are going to begin our practice with that wonderful Kundalini Kriya called Ego Eradicator. So let's prepare for that first, finding a comfortable seat. And perhaps you elevate your pelvis onto something Just allow a moment to shift if you need. More physically ground, balance through the left and right sides of your pelvis. Lifting up through the center line of your torso, up to your crown, as you broaden your chest. Inviting physical space for deeper breaths. Feel your breath in. Feel the release of the exhalation. Allow a few long breaths out to your mouth. Tuning in, perhaps you clarify an intention for your practice. Now, as you close your lips, breathing in and out through your nose, focus on expanding your belly gently as you inhale. Then hollowing your belly as you exhale. Breathing in to the belly. Breathing out, draw your navel inward towards your spine. So the Ego Eradicator Kriya contains the practice of Kapalabhati Pranayama, or breath of fire, in which we focus on this belly breathing and just through the nose, activating heat, which also helps to empower the solar plexus energy center. But we want to accentuate the exhalations by drawing the belly in with a slight bounce, like this. And as you stoke your digestive fire, you want to keep a coolness in your neck, head, and shoulders. Now, the Kriya involves your arms raised up. So you'll want to have your arms apart, straight, 60-degree angles, sticking your thumbs up towards the sky, curling the other fingers, and have a stretch happening between your thumb and index that you can feel. And then we have the breath of fire. So focusing your inward gaze as your eyes are closed towards the third eye center, which is that area above, between your eyebrows onto your forehead. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 minute of Ego Eradicator Kriya. Do what you can, find a steady rhythm. Ready? Begin. Oops. Focus on the pulsation of the belly inward as you exhale. Take a deep breath in. Hold your breath. Think of lifting your pelvic floor, engaging the lower belly in and up. And as you exhale slowly through your lips, eyes closed, bring your thumbs together to touch overhead. Then turn your palms face down as you reach your arms out by your sides and onto your lap. Just pause here a moment to observe the effects of that pranayama. Let's slow the breath down into Ujjayi pranayama, continuing to cultivate warmth, and now a steady focus as you create a sound with the breath by gently narrowing the back of your throat, breathing just through your nose and sustaining the breath equally. With deep breaths, listening to that soft whisper at the back of your throat, gently open your eyes and let's lie down on our backs for a moving twist as we awaken more energy from Manipura chakra, solar plexus energy center, the seat of the ego, but also balancing our use of it. So bring the arms wide apart, bend your knees to start so they're just above your hips and your shins are together, parallel to the floor. And as you ground both shoulders, the entire movement, maintain the natural curve and space in your neck. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, lower your knees slowly to your right side, as close to the ground as you can without collapsing your legs, nor lifting your left shoulder from the ground. Then inhale, raise your knees back to center. And exhale, slow and controlled, lower your knees to your left side, keeping your right shoulder down. Inhale, lift your knees to center. Now, if you feel like adding a little more heat to it, straighten your legs. Exhale, lower your legs to the right, just hovering close to the ground. Inhale up to center. Exhale, hover to your left side. Continuing at your pace of a slow, mindful breath. Think about 2 more on each side, more or less, depending on how you're feeling energetically right now. So that Manipura chakra is located in the upper abdominal area, the lowest portion of the rib cage. We'll practice spinal twist, a bit of some heart openers, strengthening the core area. And then as you finish both sides evenly, draw your bent knees towards your chest and start to rock forward and back a few times so that you can build some momentum to eventually land on your hands and knees, all fours. And from there, starting a few rounds of cat-cow, moving to your breath. So as you inhale, glide your chest forward, then coil it, roll your shoulders down behind you. As you exhale, contract your belly, dropping your skull as you tuck your tailbone under. Keep going a few more cycles of breath, really slowly. Feel the opposing movements of your spine, stretching the front and back side of it. Now let's continue this breath-led movement as you spread your fingers flat. See that your index fingers are both pointing forward, parallel to each other. And you're wrapping your triceps slightly towards the rear of your mat so that you can broaden the top of your shoulders. On your next exhale, tuck your toes behind you. And with bent knees, lift your sitting bones as high as you can and as far away from your hands as you can towards your rear wall. Lengthening your spine as you drop your skull. Allow a few breaths here if you prefer to pedal your feet and take a moment to warm up your hamstrings and calves. Maybe swivel the hips left and right, stretching the sides of your torso. Or softly shake and nod your head. Help to relax any tension along your neck. Listen to your calm, steady pace of breath. And we're about to move to it. So start to find stillness in Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. As you press down through your hands, inhale, raise the right leg behind you. Exhaling, bend your right knee towards your nose, rounding forward into plank pose, where your shoulders stack above your wrists. Then inhale, re-straighten your right leg behind. Pause here and exhale, bend your right knee and turn open at your right hip. Staying there, inhale, draw your left outer hip further back. And as you exhale, tap your right knee outside of your right upper arm, again coming forward into plank pose. Inhale, re-straighten your right leg back, squaring your hips this time. As you look forward, exhale, cross your right knee to tap your left outer upper arm. Twisting in plank, keep your shoulders balanced. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And with that firm control through your center, lightly step your right foot forward, just inside of your right hand. Lower your back knee, untuck the toes, and make sure that your legs are as wide apart as your hips, a stable base. Slide your right heel forward another inch or two, and then firm your right foot still. As you plant your hands on top of your right thigh, begin to lift the bowl shape of your pelvis to sit upright. Lift the frontal hip bones as you engage your lower abdomen. Now, as you keep your right foot still, imagine that you're dragging it towards the rear of your mat. So you're plugging your right thigh bone a little deeper into the hip socket, allowing your left outer hip to slightly come forward so both hips are evenly facing your front wall. And with the help of your hands pressing down onto your right thigh, continue to lift up through your front body. Frontal hip bones, chest, forehead, crown. And then soften downward through your back bodies. Release the shoulders away from your neck. Elongate your tailbone down. Staying here in this posture of Anjaneyasana, backstroke your right arm to land your hand on your sacrum, the center of your lower back, fingertips face down. Use that hand to massage your lower back to lengthen through the tailbone reaching towards the earth. Now, as you firm the belly and still, lift your back ribs and begin to raise your left arm. Feel the stability of your legs. Rotating the outer side of your left upper arm forward to broaden across the top of your left shoulder. Get a little taller by pressing downward through both feet. Relax the shoulders back and begin to create a little back bend, contracting right under your shoulder blades while maintaining length in your lower back. Perhaps you slide your right hand down your left glute, down your hamstring, maybe even catch hold of your left calf. Now, no strain, just find the point that offers some stretch, just a little bit here. Last 2 deep breaths. Blossoming the collarbones wide apart. Nice. As you exhale, plant your hands to frame your right leg and bring your right heel closer to you. So now it's directly above your right knee. Backstroke your right arm and lift your spine again vertically as you place your left hand on your outer right thigh. Keep firming the right foot down, lift up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, rotate your chest to face your right wall. Inhale, sit up a little taller, relax your shoulders down, and then exhale, continue to twist. Feel your 2 hips remain balanced as you're rotating your rib cage. And maybe even look behind you towards your right thumb if your balance feels pretty stable. Last 2 breaths here in this spinal twist. And let's lower the 2 hands onto the floor. Make your way into your version of plank pose for a few breaths, whether you decide to have the support of your knees on the ground or your legs actively straight. Stack your shoulders right on top of your wrists. Look at the floor, pass your hands, and broaden your chest forward. Engage your lower belly. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, glide forward first. Then bend your elbows back to hug your side ribs, passing through Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower all the way down to Sphinx pose. Point your toes back, slide your forearms forward so that you land just slightly in front of your shoulders. Let's take a few breaths in Sphinx. Now, as you parallel your legs and feet, imagine spiraling your inner thighs slightly towards the sky, as if you're about to pigeon toe your feet, but not. So as you point your toes actively back, feel a lengthening of your lower back. Firm down through every toenail, and then relax the shoulders further down. Take one more breath, broadening your chest. Then crossing your right forearm in front of your chest, bend your left knee, And backstroke your left arm, opening the front of your shoulder. With your left hand, catch hold of the big toe side or inside of your left ankle or foot. Having your knees no wider apart than your hips distance, reground both of your frontal hip bones. With a few breaths, bring your left heel slightly towards the outside of your left hip. As you relax both of your shoulder heads slightly behind you and downward, broadening your chest to face the front of your mat. Take 3 more whispering breaths. And as you're ready, re-straighten your left leg. Prepare for cobra or upward facing dog with both heels of your palms aligned with your floating ribs. From down through the tops of your feet, and inhale, coil your chest up into your choice. Press up and tuck your toes, lifting your hips back, downward facing dog. Deep breaths. Downward dog. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, contract your belly and round forward into plank, bending your left knee towards your nose. Inhale, raise your left leg. Stay there as you exhale, bend your left knee and turn open at the hip. As you inhale, tack your right outer hip further back. Exhaling, tap left knee to outside of your left upper arm, come forward to plank. Inhale, raise your left leg and square your hips this time. Look forward, exhale, cross your left knee outside your right upper arm, balancing your 2 shoulders. Inhale, raise your left leg, and with all of that strength in your center, lightly step your left foot forward inside of your left hand. Lower your right knee, untuck your right toes. See that your legs are hips width apart, then slide your left heel another inch or 2 forward. From down through that left foot, press your hands on top of your left thigh and begin to lift the front of your pelvis so that the bowl shape is upright. Now, without actually moving your left leg, let it feel as if you're dragging it towards the rear of your mat so that you're plugging your left thigh bone deeper into your hip socket. The right hip slightly comes more forward. Continue to lift up by rebounding from the force down through both of your feet. Shoulders relaxed, broadening your chest. Then inhale, backstroke your left arm, open the front of your shoulder, and place your left hand on your lower back, fingertips face down. Encourage your tailbone to descend. Inhale, raise the right arm up, rotate your triceps slightly forward, broaden the top of the shoulder. Begin to coil your chest up into a light back bend. If you have no strain in doing so, you might slide your left hand down your right glute, down your right hamstring, maybe down to your right calf. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Feel stability as you root down through your legs, lengthening your lower back as you coil your chest up. And then from here, lower your 2 hands on the floor to frame your left leg. Slide your left heel closer to you until it's right under your left knee for stability. Again, lift your spine upright. Place your right hand on the outside of your left thigh and backstroke your left arm to reach the back wall. Press through both of your feet. Lift through the crown of your head as you breathe in. And at your waistline, exhale, twist to your left side, staying upright. Keep firming into the ground as you inhale to lengthen up. Exhale, continue to twist, relaxing both shoulders down. Maybe you take your gaze towards your left hand if your balance feels pretty steady. Last 3 breaths. And then from here, lower your 2 hands to the earth and find your way into your version of plank pose for a few breaths. Shoulders over wrists, Lower belly lifted, chest broadening forward. With a slow exhale, glide forward, pass through Chaturanga Dandasana, forelimb stack, and come all the way down to Sphinx again. Slide your elbow forward of your shoulders as you lift your chest. Feel your ankles, hips width apart as you actively point your toes on the ground. Then cross your left forearm in front of your chest. Bend your right knee, stretch your right arm, catch hold of the big toe side, inner side of ankle or foot. With your knees no wider apart than hip distance, reground both of your frontal hip bones and bring your right heel towards outside of your right hip, broadening your chest to face the front of your mat as you relax both of your shoulders down. 3 more breaths here. Then releasing your right leg, choose Cobra or Upward Facing Dog, setting your wrists alongside your floating ribs. From down through the tops of your feet, inhale, lift your chest into your back bend. Exhale, contract your belly to lift your hips to Downward Facing Dog. Staying here in stillness, take about 5 deep breaths, listening to the rhythm and space within your breathing. And we're going to start a new flow sequence. Bending your knees, look ahead of your hands. After you exhale, hold your breath out and lift your pelvic floor while walking or lightly jumping to the front of your mat. Then inhale, lift your spine forward, draw your shoulders back. Exhale, bow in. Firming down to your feet, inhale, circle your arms towards the sky, rising up, palms touch. Exhale, join your hands at your heart. So let's start in a semi-flow, establishing the route, and then we'll move continuously. Bending your knees, let your feet touch, let your knees touch. Sink back towards your heels in chair pose, about 3 breaths. So you glide your shin bones back. If you were to look down, you want to have your toes visible. Then lifting your chest, relax your shoulders and draw your tailbone towards the earth. On an exhale, shift forward to bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, press the ground of your legs and lift your chest, look forward. Step to plank or float into Chaturanga, lowering to your own vinyasa. When you arrive at Downward Facing Dog, inhale, raise your right leg, keep your hips leveled. As you exhale, round forward and step your right foot inside of your right hand into a high lunge, feet hips width apart, parallel. From down through both feet and inhale, rise up to crescent. Let's pause here. Now you may want to bend your left knee if you find that your pelvis is tilting forward and you need to align it more upright. Scissoring your right hip back so the left hip comes forward to meet it. Bending your front knee right over the heel, feel your spine vertical and your shoulders relaxed as you raise your arms up. Now take another inhale, begin to drag your left toes forward. We're gonna stand on the right foot only at the top of your mat and raise the left bent knee in front of you, flexing your left foot. So use a contraction of your belly to lift your flexed left foot. Now feel your hips for a moment and make sure that they're balanced. Your pelvic bowl is still upright. Then reaching your right hand across your left outer knee, backstroke your left arm towards your back wall. Does this feel familiar? As you root down to your right foot, lift up to your spine and continue to turn your chest to face the left wall in a twist. Now we're gonna land the left foot towards the rear of your mat in a slow transition to Warrior Two. So keep your left arm reaching back and step your left foot lightly, aligning your right heel to the arch of your left foot. Feel the full turn out of your right leg as your front knee and middle toe face forward. Feel your spine upright as you steady your gaze past your right hand. Just a couple more breaths. As you're bending your right knee, flip your right palm to face up, lift the sides of your torso and lean towards your rear wall in Peaceful Warrior. Left hand can either land lightly on your left leg or wrap behind you, perhaps catching the right thigh. On your next inhale, lower your hands into plank pose and use the exhale to continue down through Chaturanga. Inhale, lifting your chest, Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, lifting your hips, Downward Facing Dog. Allow a few breaths here before we continuously flow. Now, as you keep your hips leveled, inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, round forward and lightly step your foot inside of your left hand so your feet are hips width and parallel in a high lunge. Firm down through both feet and inhale, rise up into crescent pose. Now, as we stay a few breaths, you might choose to bend your right knee to allow your pelvic bowl to feel more upright as you square your hips evenly, thus allowing your spine to lift tall as you relax your shoulders and raise your arms. Let's take a couple more breaths. Crescent lunge. Now on your next exhale, contract your belly, flex your right foot forward and rise to stand on your left leg. Left hand catches your outer right knee. Backstroke your right arm towards your back wall. Get a little taller and exhale, twist, turning your chest to face your right wall. Maybe you look towards your right thumb if your balance feels pretty stable. So we're gonna take a slow step back with your right foot into Warrior Two. Deep inhale, step the right foot back, arms wide open, gazing just past your left hand. Feel the alignment of your left heel intersecting the arch of your right foot. Chest wide open facing your right wall. Allow a few breaths here to ground. Flipping your left palm to face up, lift the sides of your torso, keep the bend in your left knee and lean sideways towards your rear wall. Peaceful Warrior. Deep breaths. Now right hand can land lightly on your right leg here, or you can choose to further open your inner shoulder by wrapping your right arm behind your back. It might catch hold of your left thigh. On your next inhalation, lower your two hands into plank pose, then exhale down into your vinyasa. You could replace it with cat-cow anytime you need to tone down the activity, or eliminate this part and go straight to downward dog. Remember, you have choices. When you arrive in downward facing, let your body be still. Steady your gaze on the ground towards your feet. Relax your neck. About 3 more breaths. At the end of your exhale, lift your pelvic floor as you walk or lightly jump to the top. Inhale, press with your fingertips and lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees together and inhale, sit back towards your heels, arms up in chair. Press the ground and exhale, rise up. Release the arms by your sides. And now let's flow with a breath continuously. Inhale, in chair pose. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step through plank or float into Chaturanga. Inhale, coil your chest up, cobra or upward. Exhale, lift your hips, downward dog. Inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, round forward, step the right foot inside of your right hand, high lunge. Inhale, rise up to crescent pose. Exhale, catch your left bent knee in front of you, standing with your right hand. Inhale, stand taller as you backstroke your left arm towards the back wall. Exhale, twist, turn your chest to face your left wall. Inhale, open the arms and step the left foot back into warrior two. Exhale, flip your right palm up, sweep it overhead into peaceful warrior. Inhale, your hands to touch the earth. Exhale, lower from plank into your vinyasa of choice. Changing it up when you need, if so. Finishing your vinyasa, downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your left leg, squaring your hips. Exhale, round forward, step your left foot inside of your left hand. In a high lunge, inhale, rise up, crescent pose. Exhale, catch your right bent knee, flexing the foot. Inhale, backstroke your right arm towards your rear wall, stand tall. Exhale, twist, turn your chest to face your right wall. Inhale, step your right foot back, open the arms in warrior two. Exhale, flip your left palm up, sweep it overhead, peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the ground with both hands, plank pose. Exhale, lower to flow or step straight to down dog. This time when you arrive in downward facing, allow for 3 to 5 breaths, recalibrating as you steady your eyes, body, and focus. As we have more acquaintance with marrying breath and movement in this sequence, we're going to take it 2 more rounds in a meditation through movement. Steadying your awareness on your breath. Notice what you observe as we watch our own thoughts through the process. Bend your knees at the head. On empty breath, lightly land at the top. Feet touch. Inhale, lift your chest to lengthen forward. Exhale, fold in. Knees touch. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Exhale, rise tall in mountain. Second round. Inhale, sit low in chair. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, rise halfway up. Step to plank, or exhale, float back. Keep going. Moving through your own vinyasa. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, round forward, step it into a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent pose. Exhale, catch your left bent knee with your right hands. Inhale, backstroke your left arm and stand taller. Exhale, twist from your waist to face your left wall. Inhale, step your left foot back, arms open, warrior two. Exhale, flip your right palm, peaceful warrior, lean back. Inhale, touch the ground with both hands in plank. Continue on through your vinyasa, your pace of breath. Second side. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, step it forward to a high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent lunge. Exhale, catch your right bent knee, flex the foot. Inhale, backstroke your right arm, stand tall. Exhale, twist, turning to face the right wall. Inhale, step the right foot back, arms open, warrior two. Exhale, flip the left palm, sweep it into peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the ground with both hands, step to plank. Vinyasa or none, let's meet for several breaths in downward dog. Aware of the sound rhythm of your own breath. Bend your knees, look forward. End of your exhale, lightly land at the top. Inhale, rise forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit low, chair pose. Exhale to rise up. Last time, inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Step or float back, keep going. And did mention that Manipura chakra, solar plexus, is much about willpower as well. Determination and focus. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, set your right foot forward, high lunge. Inhale, rise to crescent. Exhale, catch your left knee. Inhale, backstroke your left arm, stand tall. Exhale, twist to your left. Inhale, step your left foot back, warrior two. Exhale, peaceful warrior, sweep your right arm overhead. Inhale, touch the earth, both hands. Keep going into your vinyasa or none. Back to downward dog. Last side. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, round forward, high lunge. Inhale, rise, crescent lunge. Exhale, catch your right knee. Inhale, backstroke your right arm, stand tall. Exhale, twist, turning your chest. Inhale, step your right foot back, warrior two. Exhale, flip your left palm, peaceful warrior. Inhale, touch the ground, both hands in plank. Keep going at your pace of breath. Drop into stillness. Notice what arises in that. As you're ready, look forward. On empty breath, lightly land at the top. Inhale, lift your heart, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Knees bent. Inhale, chair pose. All right, let's add something a little. Bring your hands to your hips and rise up to stand. Bend your right knee, bring your right heel towards your right glute. Backstroke your right arm, catch the inner side of your right ankle or foot, or what you can reach. Draw your tailbone towards the ground, lift your back ribs away from it. Belly firm, keep your two hips facing forward as you begin to kick your right leg back behind you while pulling your right leg towards you, coiling your chest up as you raise your left arm into Natarajasana. Heart opening, back bending, dancer pose. Last 3 breaths here. Feel the lift at the center of your chest, a broadening of your front body. Now begin to bend your right knee in front of you, just like we did in the flow. Catch hold of it as you flex your right foot. Now using your right thumb, hook the crease of your right outer hip down, level your hips. You can continue to hold your right knee, or maybe this time you begin to straighten the right leg forward, catching hold of the outer ankle or foot. while stacking your shoulders over your hips. Reach your right arm behind you and begin to twist for a few breaths. Pressing into the earth as you lift your crown as you inhale. Twisting perhaps a little further as you exhale. Last 3 breaths. Then start to look forward. Bend your right knee again and hold it with 2 hands. Take a breath in. Exhale, set your right foot down. Relax. Maybe you circle your left foot a moment. Notice your breathing. Nice. Let's bring the feet to touch. Re-enter chair pose as your knees come together. Take a deep breath in. And bring your hands to your hips. Now we're gonna stand on the right foot, lifting up as you bend your left knee, heel towards glute. Backstroke your left arm and catch hold of the inside of your left ankle or foot, or what you can reach. Perhaps with the help of your right hand, you draw your tailbone downward, lengthening your lower back as the back ribs lift. How's your breath? Now kicking your left leg towards straight behind you, pull it at the same time using counter forces like a bow and arrow. To sustain your balance as you coil your chest up, raising your right arm, tilting your heart forward. Feel your shoulders soften down, your collarbones smile wide open. Last 3 breaths in Natarajasana, dancer pose. Now begin to bend your left knee in front of you. Catch hold of it with 2 hands as you flex your left foot for balance. Realign your hips squared, standing tall. Now use your left thumb and hook the outer crease of your left hip down. Either keep your left knee bent, or if you're going to straighten the leg, slide your left hand down to your outer ankle or foot, and make sure your shoulders remain stacked above your hips. Stand a little taller as you press the ground, breathe in, and exhale, reach your left arm behind you and begin to twist. Feel the cycles of your breath as you inhale, encouraging length up the center of your spine. As you exhale, steady your hips and continue to rotate your rib cage along the axis of your spine. Last 3 breaths. Direct your gaze forward. Rebend your left knee, hold it with both hands. Pause, take a deep breath. And exhale, set it down. Maybe give your right foot some movement at the ankle. Let's begin to wind down in a wide-legged forward fold. So turn to face the wide width of your mat. And as you open your arms, step your feet almost as wide apart as your hands are spread. Parallel your feet, spread your toes. Bring your hands to your hips. And as you inhale, roll your shoulders back, lifting your chest. As you exhale, lengthen your spine to the feeling of a flat back and hinge from your hips. Allow more weight to shift towards your toes and lower your hands on the floor or up blocks. Then press the ground away as you lift your chest forward, drawing your shoulder blades back. Exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper, letting your head, as you might walk your hands back, bending your elbows behind you like Chaturanga Dandasana. So as your hands press the floor or your blocks away, allow your shoulders to rise, freeing more space in your neck as your head falls. Remember that you always have the option of bending your knees to eliminate rounding your back. Feel the support of your legs. Let's breathe here deeply for 3 more cycles. In Prasarita Padottanasana. Begin to walk your head forward, breathing in as you lift your spine halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees here and bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lead with your chest and slowly rise up. Let's come to sit down at the center of your mat, facing forward. Set your 2 feet hips distance parallel and reach your arms forward with your palms face up. Press into the ground with your feet and 2 sitting bones to root down as you rise taller through your spine, broadening your chest, relax your shoulders. Begin to slowly lower your spine and skull onto the earth. Feel the stability from the support of the team of muscles throughout your torso, called your core, from neck to glutes, all around. Once you're down onto the ground, pick up your right leg, turn it out, and cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh for a supine version of single pigeon. Flex your right foot to stabilize your right knee, and here are the options from here. You could press your right hand against your inner right thigh close to your hip crease to help splay it open. Or you could thread your right hand between your thighs and use both hands to catch hold of your left leg and bring it slowly closer to your torso, while using your right elbow to nudge your right thigh open. Whatever you choose, ensure that your head and shoulders are resting down, even if you might use a pillow or block to support your head. Let's listen to 5 more deep breaths here. And then from here, use your right arm inside of your right leg so that your peace fingers, thumb and index and middle, clasp your right big toe. Continue to flex your right foot, step your left foot on the ground, and turn open your right leg. And it out to the side slowly as your left hand presses your both feet. Feel that the back of your left hip stays grounded as you're turning open your right leg. Last 4 breaths here in supine hand to big toe pose, or Supta Utthita Hasta, Parangushtasana. And then rebend your right knee, hug it in towards your chest. Take a deep breath, perhaps lift the head and shoulders as you squeeze it in. And set your 2 feet on the ground, knees bent. Pick up your left leg, turn it out, and cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Flex your left foot and decide if you'd like to press your left hand against your inner left thigh and stay here, or thread your left hand between your thighs and with both hands catch hold of your right leg, slowly drawing it in. Perhaps using your left elbow to nudge your left thigh open. Let's feel into 5 more even breaths. And then let's use the left index and middle fingers to clasp your left big toe, flex both of your feet. And as you begin to slide your right heel onto the floor forward, use your right hand to press the top of your right thigh, keeping your right hip grounded as you turn out your left leg and straighten it to the degree that both hips can stay on the floor. Both shoulders are relaxed. Last 4 breaths here in hand to big toe pose. Then bend your left knee into your chest, hug it in with both hands. Take a deep breath and perhaps lift your head and shoulders as you squeeze in a little tighter. This time as you exhale, splay your legs apart on the earth. Allow your feet to flop naturally as you turn your palms up slightly away from your sides. Feel your shoulders soften down into the earth, releasing a natural space in your neck. Close your eyes. Bring your mind's eye to the solar plexus, your upper belly. Imagining a glowing yellow light, fierce and energetic like the sun. And as you breathe in, you stoke the fire of that light to emanate through all ends of your body, even beyond your skin, powerful and bright. Exhaling through your lips, release control of your breath and continue to see that bright yellow light supporting you as you continue to watch your body, breath, and mind. We'll remain here in Shavasana for a few minutes before we close our practice. Now, if you choose to sit up for the last minute or two of meditation, slowly stretch your body, lift your body, find a comfortable way to sit. Otherwise, you're free to stay in Shavasana. And in sitting meditation, I invite you to use the feeling of your breath naturally flowing to continuously remind you that you are the witnesser or the witness of what arises in your thoughts, your body. Each time you return your attention back to your breath. And allow deeper breaths to bring your attention back to your physical body and physical environment. If you're lying down, you might slowly make your way up to sit. Let your palms meet at your heart, this gesture of union between your inner and outer being, as well as a gesture of gratitude. Thank you for sharing your practice. Let's close in one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.